Woo, 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 woo. Welcome to our very first podcast. This is Shifted Minds. My name is Alex Espinosa.
And I'm Fernando Espinosa.
Alex Jr.
Frankie.
I'm Angel Espinosa.
Omar Espinosa.
This is our very first podcast. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, so, I guess a little bit about my background, just briefly. I'm in real estate. We have a real estate group, and we help people buy and sell real estate.
Awesome. I'm in IT. I also do web design. I help small businesses get on the internet.
Me, I'm a flowback consultant. I work out in the oil field in West Texas.
This is our special guest. This is our brother,
Baby brother.
and he's in our very first episode. But we're gonna be interviewing him soon, so check that podcast out.
My name is Angel. I'm into real estate and kind of like the crypto mining right now. So
Okay, investing, yeah.
Okay, so my name is Frankie. I'm a real estate agent. I work with Fernando and Angel and everybody. I also have a background in biotechnology and engineering, and that's it. I like languages. So.
Alex, 14. That's my dad. I'm learning about entrepreneurship. And studying stocks right now.
how old are you?
14. And I'm learning and doing stocks.
Fernando, do the introduction.
Yes, so right now, I guess the theme of our podcast, what's the name of our podcast, bro?
Shifted Minds.
All right, so see the name, what it means, that at some point, right, in either our lives, our careers, at some point we were maybe at a specific mindset, but now something triggered to have a different mentality, different viewpoint of things. So we want to talk to different professionals, entrepreneurs, athletes even.
So what shifted in your mind?
Right. Anybody that's maybe was pretty average, let's say, and now they're doing things at a high level because something changed, right? So what was that trigger? What was that change? So yeah. So we welcome you to follow us to see all those different people we're gonna be inviting, and we can learn from them. Yeah. So I know we wanted to talk, like, what are you trying to get out of this podcast?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things I would like to get on this podcast is interviewing people on their bringing people in the podcast that are experts in their fields, and I would love to learn from them and gain knowledge and expand this.
Right. How old are you?
I'm 14.
14, man. And we were learning from you, so
Yeah.
Excellent. How about you, Frankie? What's your take on this?
Well, what I'm expecting from here is that what's that motivation that people has to keep pushing forward? Because sometimes, some days, there's something, man, in the environment that pushes you down, and just somehow, man, and I recently started to break through, man. Like, no, I'm not gonna let it happen, man. Mm-hmm. So what's the thing motivating us? To
keeping us going. Gotcha.
Yeah, and it's not soft many times. It's a little bit stressful because even the weather, man. I feel lazy because of the weather sometimes. And
Brings you down.
yeah, but I still need to do it.
Yeah.
it's good, man. It's a good mindset.
Yes, sir. How about you, Angel?
Good question, for I'm glad you asked.
Yes, sir.
Man, so mainly I'm here to just, I guess, provide value, and then the more people that we invite, I guess this time we have a special invite here in the audience. But mainly share ideas and compare where people are in life, and just kind of learn from that. As well as just going out there and putting what we have, learned, and I guess mainly to learn from other people. We're gonna be high producers and stuff like that. So definitely coming here with an open mind. And there's a saying that says that the man that knows everything. No, I forgot. I forgot what the saying says. It's like I remember. You can teach anything to a man that knows everything. So, coming here with an open mind, and even if I think I know everything about real estate, there's always something new that is to be learned in real estate or anything. So coming here with an open mind, and more than being like a sponge, like a kid, ready to learn. So
Awesome. Thank you for coming.
yeah, thank you for inviting me, Alex.
Yeah.
We have our special guest, Omar.
Yeah.
Can you tell us, based on what we discussed, what do you think is, that shifting minds? What do you think you get out of it?
First of all, who are you, bro?
I'm Omar Espinosa, first of all. My name. I'm a man.
Clearly,
Yeah.
2021.
We can figure that out. I think.
Just making sure.
Yeah, gotta let it be known, especially in this time.
Yeah, no,
time of
yeah.
day.
It's like non-binary, binary.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. So man,
Respect
father.
pronouns.
Yeah.
I have always, man. Yeah.
Father, hard worker, and yeah.
So what do you, when you hear the word shifted mind, what do you think about that?
I feel like shifted mind, I would say, is yeah, like something in your life. Yeah, something happened to you, something caused you to make a switch.
Yeah.
Right.
When I hear shifted mind, that's
Mhm.
what I was thinking of.
That's exactly what we want.
Excellent. So that's basically what we want to convey, and I know everybody wants to get different things out of it, but but a lot of times I know one of the discussions is shifted minds can happen from me hearing you say something. So that's what we want to hear from people we bring in, but also sometimes even a book. I know Angel's a big reader, and hey, here's this page. This is what I learned. So that helps you switch things, right?
Yeah.
So there's different things that we can kind of assess, and a lot of times it may not be something that you kind of hear. It may be that you're ready, or you're already a one of the things that I've learned. You're already a hustler. You're already you're going to take those activities. So if we start looking at our lives, right? There's patterns. Right, so a lot of times, like I've seen that I'm stable at different jobs for a long period of time. So I'm stable, I'm loyal, I'm consistent, and within certain fields with certain positions, I tend to go up in rank, right,
Yeah.
in different positions. So that shows patterns. But if we're not conscious of it, you're not analyzing, right? And I know that's true for you too. I know you've been with different employers,
Yeah, a lot.
and then you've been
I've switched careers so many times.
right, and but then you're always progressing to the next
Yeah.
tier, and so
I
on
mean,
and so
it's
forth,
it's always better to switch that and stay in a place that you're always gonna be like complacent.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, one thing that shifted minds kind of like touches, close to me is because, I've been in the corporate world, and I've been in a position where I was, working, and I was miserable, and I hated going to work, and then just reading books and listening to podcasts and stuff, my mind shifted, and it's almost like a light switch, I just started seeing things differently, and I started not being miserable. I started being happy, and I started appreciating that I did have a job, and so I think that's why I love the shifted minds, because it's almost like a light switch.
And one thing too, and I know me and Angel were talking about this, so it's a lot of times too, like, okay, so because we're in our little bubble, right? We're on our day to day doing certain things. But then if you see, like we're talking to different people, learning from them, you see that they're able to do, these great things because they're focused, they're
driven,
and then you're able to see. So I know what we're discussing. So this is what we want to do, right? And it can be done. Now remember the what was it? The 4-minute mile. So like nobody could do.
People thought it was impossible to
Right,
run a
like-
mile under 4 minutes.
Like your heart was gonna burst.
Impossible for a human.
That's pretty impressive.
It was impossible until somebody made it possible.
So as soon as this guy made it possible,
more people started
like
working.
that same year, like you had other people accomplishing it because they're like, your heart doesn't explode. So then other people tried, right?
Something I want to say that you said, people that are miserable on the jobs, and I feel like this podcast, we also want to like reach those people.
Yeah.
We're gonna be inviting people that are, we're miserable in their jobs, kind of like you, man. You said you were miserable, and then you were like, there must have been a point where you were like, this is it.
Yeah.
I got to do something to get out of here. Some people don't have that, moment ever in their lives, and they stuck into a career they hate
Gotcha.
until they retire.
Yeah.
So if we're able to reach to those people through a book, through a podcast, which is this one, I mean, I can see honestly changing people's lives for the better. So we want to reach those people that are in that situation right now. So
Yeah, and I want to share something with that too. So I'm talking to somebody right now that call them up, be like, man, Fernando, I'm just drained. Okay, so man, you're not in your environment.
Yeah.
You're not in your environment. So see, I tell them, hey, this is what I was at. So you're not in your environment. I was working a 48-hour job. At the end of the day, you hear different things, better yourself, read, go to take more classes. And I was just drained. There was just no energy. So how do you do that, right? So now, and this, I mean, I'm probably work like 50, 60 hours a week, and I feel like energetic,
Yeah.
So, I mean, what changed? Well, my environment, because now I'm able to go out and about. I mean, I like driving. I like, before I was just in an office, which I guess not, a lot of people, that's their environment. So they'll thrive in that environment, right? So maybe just identifying, maybe it's not the employer, it's just the environment. Maybe you need to be at a different position, different employer. Maybe you do need to be self-employed. So yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
One thing I know, like with people, because I've talked to people where they're just like, they feel stuck, right? They feel like there's no way out. And one thing that I try to tell them is like, well, if you don't do something about it now, you're still going to be stuck. Let's say a year later.
Yeah.
Like if you do something now and then just do it little bit by little bit to try to get yourself out of that situation, and a year later, you'll be closer to a different goal, right? Mm-hmm. But the point is to start today. And they're always like, oh, I don't have time,
The usual.
Yeah, the usual.
I'll do it tomorrow.
It's like, I forgot who I was talking to, but they were like, they spend they spend a lot of hours on their social media. And then, or I was listening to it. They spend a lot of time on their social media. So like, well, how can you say you're stuck if you spend a lot of time on your social media? You could use that time to learn a new skill.
It's priorities, bro.
Yeah.
It's a good quote by this Roman emperor. His name is Marcus Aurelius. Also, for now, it's like, you could be good today. You could be great today, but instead, you choose to be great tomorrow.
Yeah.
So we put things off all the time, and because we think we have a lot of time. Like you were saying, 1 year, right? 1 year. 1 year goes by like that.
Oh, yeah.
And then it's 4, and then it's 5, and then I don't know where you're 5 years into trying to change, whatever you were trying to improve on, and you feel stuck because you haven't started. So, damn it. Act now.
Excellent. So I know we kind of fit from each other. So I don't know if you want to go over just how, and I feel that this is important because I know this is a podcast, so we want to put it out there. But currently, I know y'all are meeting, you have certain mastermind meetings. And out of those mastermind meetings, there's accountability, there's, encouraging to read books, you share books, so you learn from each other.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you want to touch a little bit into that.
Yeah, so we started pretty much a mastermind group, and it started out as just reading books. And we just talked about like what books that we read, and everybody in this group is part of it. Fernando hasn't been part of it.
Yeah. I'm there. Just don't see me.
In spirit. But pretty much we just talk about, books. Angel has read a lot of books, and he gives quotes and examples and stuff from the books that he read.
Man, when I went in there, I was like, I feel like I'm in like a job interview. Like, how old are you? 14?
Yeah, 14.
Bro, the way that you had I was in there for the first time, and you asked me questions like if I had been there for years. I felt like that, dude. I felt like at home. So just kudos, man. Kudos. You're very professional.
The other day, Antoinette was calling me. She was like, "Hey, do you have the notes from the meeting? Because I want to be prepared for next meeting. Alex is gonna ask me the questions."
Yeah, you're kind of scared. Like, oh, I'm about to be held accountable. I'm a 14-year-old.
He's like, "What did you do? Why didn't you accomplish it? Like, why?
Why are you messing up?"
Yeah. Is that why you don't? Is that why you're not part of it?
I didn't know you had that on there. I didn't know you had that on there. But.
I think a big part of the mastermind meeting is accountability. I think that's like the top reason for having a mastermind meeting. So I think a mastermind meeting is good for accountability, and that's a big goal of it. So that's why I try to hold everyone accountable.
Let me ask you a question. How do you get so organized? What taught you to take notes? And I guess you're in school right now, so I guess professors ask you to take notes, I guess. But what do you do to make it so systemized?
I mean a system on the mastermind, the notes. I mean, if it's not structured, then you have nothing to follow. So.
Did he get that from you, Alex, or is it just kind of his time? See, that's his environment, right? Yeah. So we're all wired differently. So that's his strength, right? And I feel like going back to finding our environment is what are you good at? So when you do something that you're good at, you enjoy it because you're good at it. You're probably doing it better than everybody else. And then eventually, if you're getting paid for it, even better. You know what I mean? So that's one of his talents. So
what do you go, man?
Good job, man.
I think
good job.
That's good. Yeah, and just let me say, for the masterminds, for the next Friday, I just noticed that I didn't make any progress since the last meeting.
So that's why you show up on the next one. No,
so that's why I don't show up. No, so that's why, I'm like, oh, it's a Wednesday already, so at least I gotta do something minimal,
Yeah.
but at least progress.
Yeah.
And there's when I connect for what you said before, that there's people that waits for next week, next month,
That
a year,
put things up.
2 years. Yes. So these kind of things, like the masterminds, is just feedback. A little bit painful, because you notice that you didn't make the progress that you wanted to, the desired one. But we have to face it one time.
Yeah.
And if we don't face it one time, then it might be in 10 years.
That's good, man. Everybody has to face reality at one point in their lives.
Yeah, like I wanted to study something Chinese, and I just had the books there, and
Dang, that's crazy. Yeah, well, I guess you're saying like you're just in pain as a motivator right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I guess it is painful that when you go in there, you're being called out by a 14-year-old.
So, Francisco, do you read your book? Do you get your leads? Do you do your Facebook ad?
He's like, no, I didn't. Why?
I mean, and that's good, because then I notice, hey, if I want to be successful, man, I'm just gonna prioritize.
But
even
then, even if you're like the day of the mastermind, you're like, oh shit, I had to at least do something, right? But that's still doing a little bit of something then instead of not doing anything at all.
Yeah.
So even if you do that 10 minutes every week, that's still progress.
So 1% better every day.
And you know what? That's what I learned when we're talking about the tax sales and the projects that we have. It stressed me that I'm not good at stocks like other people like Omar. But consistency is the main key. It doesn't matter if it's just a little, if it's just one lead a day, but just one follow up. But that's something that just consistency.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Just
it
do
keeps
it.
adding up. Keeps adding up.
I've changed careers like a lot of times. I was doing automotive. I did IT programming, and now I'm doing real estate. And one thing that I learned is. You don't know everything, but consistency. There's nobody's an expert in something from
the first day. Man.
The first day.
Yeah.
And like now, I'm learning about contracts, and I'm learning about double close and all these terms that I've never even knew what it meant before.
What is it? Was the saying that he was saying, like you sit around a barbershop, you're about to get a haircut?
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying is like I remember when I first started to code. I would look at the code and it was Chinese. I couldn't even read it. I didn't know what it was, and I thought you had to be a genius to understand it. But then just doing it consistently, and then I finally started to the words started to make sense. The syntax started to make sense, and then I was reading code, and I was like, it was almost like an epiphany. Like, man, you can learn anything, literally anything.
That's crazy.
Anything you want.
If you kind of put your mind to it and you focus on one career, you could be an expert on it in 5 years.
Yeah.
And I believe it in anything, right? Mm-hmm. So programming, real estate, investing, stocks. But I mean, you have to really put effort for 5 years.
You do.
Right?
So that was your wake up call, kind of doing coding.
Yeah.
That made you believe I can do anything.
Yes. Literally, and that's what I always told my kids, y'all could wake up to tomorrow and say, I want to be an astronaut. And I even told, I sat down with Alex and we were like, what do you want to do? So he's the top 10 things. So he sat down. He's like, I want to be an astronaut. I want to do this. I want to program. So we sat there and we looked up, we researched, what do you have to do to be an astronaut?
Yeah.
And then the astronaut, it wasn't even that hard, right?
Yeah.
The astronaut, you just had to have a bachelor's degree and other things, but it wasn't that hard. So I'm like, wow, I thought you had to be this extraordinary person, but no, you don't. To be able to get in the program is real simple. I mean, not simple to the sense that, anybody could do it, but I mean, it's doable for anybody. You could wake up tomorrow and say you want to be an astronaut, and you can.
Wow.
You literally can. You just have to go to school, put in that effort. But so it's just amazing that anybody could wake up tomorrow, especially in the United States. Anybody could wake up.
Oh, bro, that's the beauty of this country, dude. One door closes, another one opens, dude.
Yeah.
People don't wake up in Indonesia thinking, oh man, I made it to Indonesia. I'm glad. People in Mexico don't wake up in Mexico. It's oh man, I made it to Mexico. Especially South America. It's oh man, I'm in South America. I'm so glad I can do anything. People want to come to the United States for a reason, dude. People in China want to come here. I wanted to come here.
It's crazy how many how far people go to be in here, and there's so many opportunities everywhere. So just the idea that you can you can wake up the next day and think you can go into an astronaut and change career paths like a flip of a switch. You wake up the next day and you could switch a career
What
path.
you wanna
That's
do.
Yeah.
there's a lot of opportunities, and
We don't have the same obstacles as other countries. Like you're mentioning in Mexico, you wake up say, I want to be a doctor. Well, you have like 20 more obstacles. Where here it's just about getting in the program and getting a loan.
I guess number one would be money, and that's not even an obstacle
Yeah.
anymore. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
You get a loan.
You
So-
can find someone like who can sponsor you, man.
Yeah.
Like seriously,
Scholarships. too.
anything. There's so many ways to get
Yeah.
money, dude. Like
Oh man.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's
crypto. I mean, no, seriously, dude.
Get 20 machines. Well, you know, one of the things that I feel is a theme right now is that we're talking about how we're benefiting each other as a group. You know, like feeding from each other, what you know, what he knows. You know, your struggles, my struggles. So I feel like our audience can probably benefit from that too. And you know, we're blessed, we're lucky. I mean, we're in the right country, and then we're probably in the right group, right? Now, some people may not have that luxury of having people. You know, maybe they want to do better, but then they don't have the right people around them.
Oh, yeah.
Either, you know what I mean, the right environment.
Oh yeah.
So I think we're blessed because of that, you know, and I'll be
blessed.
very blessed. So I'll be sharing with y'all that I'm reading the Think and Grow Rich, and there's a chapter on mastermind. So then I start analyzing mastermind, right? So I know Frankie mentioned it a little bit. So now we're doing, other than y'all's, you know, mastermind, that you are doing accountability sessions. Well, now we're doing some masterminds for ideas, right? To either, you know, stocks, you know, to do real estate investments, to do, you know, wholesale deals, crypto mining. We're talking about building an application that, you know, we can sell eventually. So all of that came from contribution from anybody.
yeah.
And, you know, one of the things I want you to keep in mind, we've been meeting about maybe, I mean, it hasn't been even that long, maybe about 30 days, maybe 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And I feel we've gone so far.
Yeah.
I mean, like, we have a machine. You know, we already went to we bid it on a tax, you know, so I mean, everything's happening like real fast.
We have a
But it's-
website up.
We have you're right. So all the, you know, technology part of it. So it's because we're all joining forces, right? You know,
you mentioned that.
we're looking at your strengths, and then we're, you know, benefiting everybody. So, you know, so maybe our audience can hopefully hear some of that and encourage them to find the right group for them, right? Or even feed from our group.
And I'll have you mention that because it goes all back to what Alex Jr. said, is accountability. We had this like website thing on up in the air for like 6-7 months, and it wasn't until we had like that mastermind that I don't know who pushed who, but like we finally have a website. So it's like, it's crazy, man. Like it makes you take, I mean, action.
Yeah.
Even this podcast. I mean, we started with an intro. We, you know, now we got equipment we got to get to make it better. In the first one, it was good. You know, we have our first guest that we're going to interview. So I mean, we're action. You know, we're definitely taking action.
Back on that.
Yeah.
TexasPropertyHelpers.com.
All right, so I think our intro. Let's wrap it up.
Yeah.
It's a wrap.
It's a wrap. This is our very first episode. Thank y'all.
Like and share it.
Like it.
Like and subscribe, share.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we have a title for this episode, you guys?
Intro.
Intro.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Like it.
All right. That's it. That's a wrap.
All right. It's a wrap, guys.
Cool.